Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 yeah buts that talk you out of it every time. We're going to name them, shame them, and we're going to give you tips to take them down.
Yes, so by the end of this episode, you should be able to spot your most go-to excuse, but also then reverse engineer it, figure out where it's actually come from, and then we're going to help you move past it and take some control.
That's the idea.
So welcome to the Weight Loss Podcast. That is the Weight Loss Podcast, not a weight loss podcast.
Oh, nice.
Just
We got in first.
Just make sure. We did get in. Actually, we did get in first. I am Courtney. That's Matt. Ish. So if it's your first time joining us, welcome. Hope you stay. If you've been here before, welcome. Also hope you stay. Anything you want to touch on, Courtney, before we dive in, apart from the fact that I can't even get our names right? We'll let that one slide.
We'll just let that one. We're just going to pass over that one.
So I would like to just, on behalf of both of us, make a disclaimer. The 5 themes of excuses we're going to be talking about today, we're not going to point and blame and judge, because plenty of these have come out of our mouths or gone through our brains before in the past as well. So we have either used them ourselves in a variety of ways and have definitely seen it years in the gym, coaching, etc. I know you've seen it before.
Yes.
I have so many stories. This could be a 10-hour podcast.
Yes.
I promise it won't be, though. So before we dive in, we'd just like to say that if you're the sort of person that has a bit of an all or nothing mentality, and you think, well, hey, I've been perfect, except, it's Wednesday and I just ate something I shouldn't have and I've wrecked or blown up the entire week, I promise you haven't. But if you're the sort of person that will catastrophize after a simple mistake like that and then tell yourself, well, it's okay, I'll just throw the whole week in the bin and start on Monday, we have a tool for you called the Wrecked Week Reset. Good luck saying that 5 times quickly.
Or even once quickly, to be honest.
I did slow it down deliberately. If you want to get a hold of that tool, just find us over on the Instagrams at the Weight Loss Podcast and just DM us the word wrecked.
Yep.
Right. Let's dive in.
Let's.
With excuse number 1.
Drum roll.
It's not my fault. It's X.
Yes.
So
X standing for insert here.
Insert blame shifting here. And this is where we're going to start with what this title of this episode is all about, where so many times, I know for me, at least in my coaching and training career, I've heard the phrase, I know what to do, but I just can't seem to do it. And you're going to find that the reason why you can't seem to do it is going to fall somewhere through here today, starting with, it's not my fault, it's X. Well, what is X? X is anything that we will give the blame over to rather than, unfortunately, taking it on ourselves. So, before we give some examples professionally, can you give any examples of you using this personally yourself, Courtney?
Yeah, I think the biggest one in my history would probably be time. It's not my fault that I didn't get to the gym. I didn't have time. Or work. Those are probably 2 of the biggest ones.
Define work.
Well, it would probably become with time as well. Like, I was really busy at work and I didn't leave until X time, so I didn't get to the gym. And then the next day I was really tired because I've worked so much this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't go to the gym then either.
Yeah.
Those were very big for me. Definitely big in excuses when it came to eating too, because it would go to, well, I didn't have time to prep any food.
Mm-hmm.
So I just ate this
Okay.
instead.
Yep.
So I would say time and or work came a lot for me.
Work was my biggest one when I was younger. So all it would take would be a stressful day at work. So be it, I'm thinking of a particular time when I used to work at a toy store.
Retail.
It was like a world of toys, you might say.
Yes.
And the owner in particular, who these days I would definitely get along with him famously well.
Yeah, okay.
Back then, when I was very low on confidence, even though like I wasn't mistreated or anything, but being a business owner, entrepreneur, and a straight shooter, this dude had no filter.
Yeah.
So for 20-something-year-old Matt, that's just terrifying. For 40-something-year-old Matt, that's my spirit animal.
Yeah.
But all it would take is for him to give me, let's use the phrase constructive feedback.
Yes.
And I would just lose my marbles
Mm.
and get all emotional. And I'm too stressed. I've had a bad day. I can't go to the gym today. Because my routine, if you can call it that, used to be I would try to finish work in the afternoon / early evening and then go straight to the gym. And I can't go today because I had a bad day at work, or I had to deal with some jackass customer, or my boss had a crack at me, or anything that made me feel remotely negative in some emotional way was all I would need to bail out.
Mm.
So rather than take ownership of the situation and go, well, you know what? I'm going to go to the gym anyway and take out my frustrations on these barbells and dumbbells. I'll just be like, it's this work's fault, which is entirely not helpful.
No.
And this leads into where I've seen this from a coaching perspective, where we use the phrase blame shifting.
Yes.
Hence the phrase, it's not my fault, it's X. So things I've heard in the coaching space, and I'm probably going to get nuked in the comments for where I'm about to go, but hey, I have an explanation here. So I've heard I have to stop because my doctor said so. Now I'm not going to
go against medical advice.
I'm not going to go against medical advice. However, from my experience, if I'm being told by someone you can't exercise at all, you need to stop this, it's like, is something seriously wrong here?
Yeah.
Like,
to have a serious condition.
Is there something you need to tell me?
Yeah.
Or I've heard things about, it's not my fault, it's the medication. And one I've heard in particular is antidepressants. Now, antidepressants are known to have some effects on weight gain and can be a disruptor for weight loss. However, whenever I've heard that particular excuse in the past, it has always come from someone that we can look at objectively and go, well, you know what? You have some pretty destructive habits at play here. What if instead we worked on those habits, controlled what you can control, and then we'll see what your body gives you? And I have seen plenty of times where someone has taken that on board and been like, well, you know what? Okay, I'll give this a crack. Yes, I've been prescribed antidepressants, but I still have some rather unhealthy habits. Let's go work on those. Lo and behold, the body still changes. So I would say with things like medication, can it be a factor? 100% it can be. But don't allow that to make you overlook what you can control. And this is where I'm really going to make myself a potential punching bag, because I run into the problem of like, what's this man know about this? Well, this man has worked with 96% women his entire career. Things like endometriosis, PCOS, menopause. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say these things aren't real, because this one has endometriosis and I've had front row tickets to how debilitating a condition this is. I've worked with so many women with menopause in my career and with polycystic ovarian syndrome. These things are real. And as a little tangent, drives me crazy when I hear stories from women where they're like, yeah, my doctor said it's all in my head. Like, you just, on your behalf, I want to grab them and just put one on them. That being said, these conditions are real. However, I have seen them being used as cover or shields for stopping. As in, I can't do the program. I can't meal prep. I can't work on my habits. I can't go to the gym because I'm dealing with menopause symptoms, which, by the way, can be hard as hell. Even for me not having them, I can see how hard they are. What if we worked on what we could work on when we could work on it?
Yeah.
And this is what I've had chats with Courtney about, and please back me up on this, because Courtney will have these endometriosis flares that we wake up in the middle, like I've been woken up in the middle of the night and she's crying in pain, genuinely tears. Now, I as a man can't see this. I can't see the pain or the symptoms that a woman goes through, but I can see what's coming on the outside, you know, and no one knows, you know, your own body better than you. But where I've seen things go wrong in the past is when these conditions get used to do nothing.
Yeah.
As opposed to where I'm very passionate about is saying to a woman in this case, like, you know what? Yes, your endo pain clearly ruins your life when it strikes. Let's focus on what you can do when you're not suffering from that.
Yeah.
Same thing with women going through peri and menopause. Some of the symptoms can range from what I've been communicated to by women. Symptoms can range from, I don't feel too good, to I feel like a completely different person. I can't sleep at night. What the hell's going on here? And I'll say the same thing. Let's focus on what we can control. We'll do things in conjunction with your specialist who's, you know, can no doubt help with things to limit the symptoms. But we also know that strength training, moving your body, good nutrition are universal prescriptions.
Yes.
For conditions. I am of the belief that rather than using conditions that are out of our control as cover to stop doing things for yourself or to not take action, let's be adaptable. Let's be flexible. Let's take control of what we can control and see what effect that can have. Does that make sense, or have I just mansplained my way into a hole
No, I think
here?
it all makes sense. And I think the other one is stop aiming for perfection with a lot of these.
Yep.
So a lot of the other examples are, like you mentioned, you know, work, time, someone told me I shouldn't do this, or I think a lot of it comes down to perfection. And I think that's the trap I fell into with my
endo. What do you mean?
Is early days, it would be, yeah, there might be a week that I can't exercise at all.
Yep.
It's not common. I would consider myself one of the lucky ones with my endo where it doesn't necessarily strike at random times. I'm fairly aware of when it's coming. And it generally has been pretty good to me, touch wood, in the way of being quite consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So generally speaking, I know how long my flares are going to last and relatively know kind of when they're going to strike. So I consider myself one of the lucky ones because not all women with endo get that luxury.
Mm-hmm.
It can strike at random times and it can last for all different lengths of time. So I consider myself one of the lucky ones in that respect. But what I would do is when they hit is I would use that as I can't exercise that week, but then that would roll into the next week. And then that would roll into the next week.
Okay.
So I think that's where I talk about we can't use this excuse as almost also a shield for perfectionism.
Yeah, because in this case, it's like, okay, we'll use endometriosis as the example. You've got endo. Now, that is out of your control. But from a coaching perspective, I would say, and do say to women, okay, let's focus on what you can do when you can do it. Let's apply some adaptability and some flexibility and just be prepared to make adjustments when we need to. Like, it can be the same thing with women with their menstrual cycles. Like, you being the woman here, like tell me if I'm on the right track, but from my experience at a coaching level, you'll have some women where their cycle hits them so hard. It's like, you know what, this is a week off for you basically because you can barely function. And that can range from that to the other end of the scale where with some women I've worked with, it's like, oh, okay, your period's here, you're hitting PBs this week.
Yeah, and I've had those times.
Yep.
I've had a mixture of those different scenarios over the years. It's been hit and miss for me. There has been some weeks where I've been able to exercise
Yep.
and I've exercised really well during my menstrual cycle week. There's been other months out of the blue, which it's not consistent at all for me, where I can barely feel like I can lift half the weight that I would have been usually lifting. I definitely can't run, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely can't do high intensity cardio.
You're not jumping or bouncing around?
I can't do any of that.
Yep.
I can't do anything high intensity whatsoever. It's low intensity stuff and maybe weights depending on the month.
Yep.
So I think, but if I went with this as a defining issue for me and the excuse and blame shifting for me, I would use that. It could potentially use that as an excuse just to give up altogether because I'm aiming for perfection, and because I can't do it properly or because I can't do it without any issues, I just can't do it.
Yep.
And that's where it becomes a problem, I think, and that's where it leads into that perfectionism. Some of the other excuses that that might come up are things like age. And that, I think, falls into that category too.
Oh, we're getting to that.
Yeah. Is it because some people feel like, it's not my fault, I'm just too old?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, you're falling into that perfectionism mindset.
If we go below the surface here, the reason I bring these things up is because I think you run the risk when you tell yourself things like this. You run the risk of, in a way, taking your hand off the steering wheel where you can. And you kind of give over control completely. So there are some things we cannot control.
Yeah.
We can't control aging.
No.
For a woman, we can't control how hard do I get hit during my cycle. Or a woman with PCOS, like how much you can't control the pain that you're in and how much you're being affected by it. But you can control what you can do when you can do it.
Yes.
And that's the whole point here is we want to focus on what we can do when we can do it, be adaptable, have what I call the find a way mindset. Like to me, it's really about being able to own your choices, accept the things that you can't control, and not beat yourself up for the things that you can't control.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's actually what I tell people. If we just quickly touch on the coaching aspect here, this is exactly what I tell women in the coaching space. Like the amount of conversations I've had, because I want to learn this stuff, because being a male, I'll never experience this. So I want to get this perspective.
And everyone's is within these areas, everyone's perspective is going to be slightly different.
And that's why it's so good and why I find it very valuable to ask women like, hey, what do you notice?
Yeah.
How does this affect you? Because just because this condition or this circumstance affected this woman over here this way doesn't mean it's going to affect you like that over that way.
Yeah.
So what's your lived experience? And once we get an idea of what that is, well, okay, let's find a way to work around that so you don't feel that everything is falling into a heap. Because I think when we have negative experiences in life, creating positives where we can is critical. And it's a separate discussion, but it's one thing I can speak to on the topic of grief. Grief feels all consuming, but my mentality is, well, what positives can I create to improve and just have something positive to build upon in my life? Does that make sense, or am I waffling?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Anything else you want to add? We move on.
I think we'll move on to the next one.
All right.
Excuse number 2.
It's not happening fast enough. I have to go and do something else.
Yeah.
This program isn't working for me because I have spent the last 10, 15, 20 years not exercising, or exercising sporadically. Most of my choices come off of Uber Eats.
Not focusing on nutrition.
I can't remember the last time I had a conversation with my kitchen bench. It's hidden over there somewhere.
Not even understanding the value of different nutritional groups.
But despite all that, I believe that I should have undone 20 years of being overweight and unhealthy in the last 12 weeks. This program sucks. It doesn't work. I'm going to go over and do that thing over there. Or, it's not working fast enough. I may as well stop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This drives me insane, which I will get on my soapbox about shortly. Courtney, can you speak to this from a personal standpoint? It's not working fast enough. I need to change or I need to stop.
Yes. Yes.
Please
absolutely.
elaborate.
This was me before I met you, Matt, which was deprivation mostly. I think I've spoken about it a lot. I would just try to cut things out. I would try different diets and different fad things. And I would just, mostly when it came to nutrition, I would try to cut. And I would deprive myself of so much that then that would turn into binging, and then it would turn into this doesn't work, and then on to the next thing. So everything that I tried was fairly short-lived. And that was for multiple different reasons, but it was definitely a feeling often is when you would try something. And I think this was also motivated a lot by social media, by a lot of things that you would see on TV or in magazines back in when I was younger. Back in my day, it was in the magazines.
30-something-year-old saying back in my day.
But I think it came down to a lot of that, because obviously social media has a big influence on this these days. We all know about social media by now, I think. We all know that everyone posts the best
1%?
The best pictures of themselves, the best results possible, and it's a snippet of people's lives, and you don't see the big time frame behind it. You don't see the effort behind it. You don't see everything else that goes in behind things. So we all think everything happens instantly. We all want instant gratification. We all want to see results quickly. We all want to know our hard work is paying off. And yeah, it's very common. I've done it myself. I've seen it happen a lot. I would almost bet it's one of the most common ones.
It is. That being said, I cannot say I've gone through this myself.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why that is, because I was so effing lazy, I didn't even start in the first place.
Yeah.
So how could you say it's not working fast enough when you were doing nothing?
Yes. Yes.
So have never gone through that from a personal standpoint, because I was just so lazy and then eventually just got sick of my own BS.
Yes.
From a professional standpoint, I wish I had even 10 cents for every time I've seen this.
Yeah.
Because you and I would be on a private island somewhere.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I do know that it is human nature, as you said, Courtney, for wanting instant gratification, because delayed gratification is not cool.
Well, it's not fun.
It doesn't sell well. It's not fun. However, I think for a lot of people as well, this mentality is inherited. And it's inherited by, sadly, the field I've worked in now since 2010, because all you have to do is look around you or jump on your Instagram feed and you're going to get served an ad from a gym or a program or something that's about to start their 28-day challenge, their 7-day detox, their 6, 8, 10, 12-week challenge. And we are conditioned to think this is how it works. Now, I could sit here and say to you what you want to hear, or I could sit here and say the truth. It never happens that fast. You will not be the exception. Rule. That is a rule, right? To the point where, since I became a trainer way back when, like as a 40-something-year-old, I can say back in my day, from day one, I have told people the uncool truth that this is going to take longer than you think.
Mm.
I was actually having a chat with a couple of people just this week, actually, talking about timelines and expectations on timelines with this. And I said to them what I'll share here now, which is that I know that if you had someone who was heavily overweight, all things being equal, you could get them into peak condition probably within 9 months.
Mm.
But that assumes they're not a human being with emotions, with perspectives, with habits, with beliefs. Once you add in the human element, that's why this takes time.
Mm.
So as a result, for as long as I've been doing this, I've told people the unglamorous truth that as much as I would love to tell you this will be quick and easy, this will be the exact opposite. And I know it has cost the business money, and I don't care.
Mm.
I don't give a shit. I would rather be over on an island somewhere saying this is how it actually works, because when people are ready to hear it and they understand, they'll get to work and they'll build something special for themselves.
Yeah.
But I could never bring it in me to sell people on the short term, because you don't fix long-term problems with short-term solutions.
Yes.
That's just the way it is. So the fix for this, unfortunately, the fix is difficult.
Yes.
Hence why I said the rule before, this will not be quick and this will not be easy, and you will not be the exception, the way that I wasn't, the way that Courtney wasn't. And that's okay. I will say to you, you can accept that it's never going to be fast enough, and you don't have to like it.
Yeah.
These things can exist at the same time.
Yes.
And there is a leap of faith required with this, with regards to patience, with regards to trusting a process, with regards to being able to put in work and effort and focus and commitment without expecting instant returns. That is how this works. There is a delay with this, where you'll put in the effort, you're going to the gym, you're going for your walks, you're going to your classes, whatever it might be. You're in the kitchen, you're meal prepping, you're doing all this week after week, and you think, what's going on here? Like, nothing's happening. You have to keep chipping away until eventually you start to feel it.
Yes.
And you will feel it before you see it.
Yeah.
So it's not sexy, it's not exciting, but it is the version that lasts.
Yeah.
And if you're still with us after I've just told the truth, then you are one of us. Because I just want to be clear before we go on here. I don't like that fact any more than you do. I wish we could generate insanely quick, life-changing results in super short periods of time, because we would make so much money.
Yeah.
But you have to do what's right for the individual, and you have to be honest and say, sorry, if I could, I would. That's not how it works.
Yeah. For all the reasons that you mentioned, Matt, and I think the one thing as well, just to keep in mind, is not only it is the years of potentially poor eating habits, not exercising, you're learning usually whole new skills.
Mentality as well.
So, yeah. So you're not only learning new physical skills, so you're learning about your body and how it moves and what muscles are being used and how to exercise safely and properly. And then that takes practice. Then you're also learning about nutrition and food groups and how to make food work for you and how to not deprive yourself and how to build up your metabolism. But then you add on top of that what we've spoken about in previous episodes, where we speak about the mental side to this and the longevity of it based off how you mentally adapt to what you've been through in the past, the habits that you've brought in to your present and to your future. So you bring all that together, and it's no wonder that it's slow, it's boring, it's frustrating at times, but as you said, that's the version that lasts because you've done all of that work. And usually it did for me. You get to know yourself along the process. That's the benefit as well. It's not only the physical change. For me, it was the emotional and the mental change that I went through of, I mean, it sounds a bit woo-woo, but really discovering myself and discovering who I am, who I want to be, what the best version of me is, and letting go of some mental baggage that I've had over the years, and being able to build some resilience and to build patience, and it makes all of the good times worth it.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think if it was just as simple as learning about exercise and learning about nutrition, this would happen really quickly and a lot easier. But once you then bring in, as Courtney said, the mental and emotional side of things, and learning about who you are, how you respond to stress, how you respond to challenging situations, those sort of obstacles you have in your brain, like imposter syndrome, fear of failure, fear of success.
Fear of success.
Fear of success for some people, or a lack of self-worth. I don't deserve this, or the guilt of, I feel bad putting myself first in these situations when I should be looking after this person or that person. They're the things that make this take time.
Yeah.
So before we move on, Courtney, let's just give one more recommendation to the, you want to say it?
Oh, the Rect Week Reset.
Now do it 4 more times quickly.
I couldn't even do it once quickly.
The Rect Week Reset, perfect for the all or nothing individual. If you just, something goes wrong and you think you've wrecked the whole week, you've blown it up, and just forget it, chuck it away, start again Monday. This is for you. Find us where?
On Instagram, or Matt calls it the Instagram, at the Weight Loss Podcast.
And DM us what word?
Rect. DM us or comment on
You can
the
comment
video.
on a post. So either comment or DM the word Rect on our Instagram page, and we will send you that tool. It'll take you all of 5 minutes to start to get on top of this rather nasty, destructive habit, possibly once and for all. I do wish we had this when we were younger, because I was a classic example of, I've screwed it, I'll start again Monday.
Yep.
Let's move on.
All right. Excuse number 3. Why are they X and I'm not?
Why are they blank and I'm not? This is where we talk about comparisons.
Yeah.
Why is she losing that much weight and I'm not?
Yes.
Bitch.
Yes.
F you.
Yes.
Why does that person lose weight from their stomach first?
Yeah.
And I don't. In fact, I lose weight from my stomach last.
Yeah.
And there's actually a woman in the academy right now, the first place it's coming off from her is her stomach. And it's like,
we've seen that before. It's the exception to the rule.
Yeah, but it can happen though.
It can.
You know,
yes.
I'm referring here to comparisons. So, hey, why is that person eating that food and you're over here recommending I eat this?
Yes.
Or why are they doing 4 training sessions a week in the gym and you got me over here doing 2? And it's like, well, they've got a 12-month head start on you, champ.
Yes. Yes.
The point here is, please run your own race. It's so easy to think, well, that chick's losing weight faster than me, so clearly something's not working here. This mustn't work for me. Or potentially she started 9 months ahead of me and has gained momentum in that 9 months.
Yes.
Or she's just one of those lucky people and it just falls off them. Actually, the amount of women I've spoken to where they'll say, I have to work so hard to lose weight and my bastard husband just has to look at a dumbbell and off it comes.
Yep.
It is what it is. You don't have to like it. I think for a lot of people, though, this sticks and becomes a real issue because you are comparing yourself to someone that you're seeing where they are now. You didn't see where they started from 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago. I've had academy students compare themselves to me, and I come to them now with the exact same response. I have a 20 plus year head start on you. I should be ahead of you.
Yeah.
It should come easier to me now. I should be able to burn fat faster than you. I've been in the gym weekly since 2004.
Yes.
I haven't been perfect the entire time. I've had plenty of ups and downs. However, that sort of history does come with some rewards.
Yes.
You know, the fix here, easier said than done, but we're just going to say it, is get out of the comparison lane. Maybe put your phone down.
Mm.
In this day and age, maybe I would like to introduce you to a very, very good friend of mine. It's called the unfollow button.
Yeah.
We get along real well.
Yes.
And go run your own race. If you are going to play the comparison game, here's who you should compare yourself to, the previous version of you. And this is one thing I do from a coaching standpoint, where I like to compare where someone is right now to where they were previously. So it might be like, hey, you had a social event this weekend, you set some boundaries for yourself around, let's say, alcohol consumption or what you were going to eat. Did you hit those targets? And they might say, yeah, I did. And then my next question will be, okay, is that an improvement on what you would have done 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago? And if the answer is yes,
yeah,
you get a high five because we are comparing you to where you came from.
to you.
And the arrow's pointing upwards.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one I would say to try to steer clear of is not just the social media's posts and, you know, seeing other people maybe in the gym and comparing yourself to somebody else in person. I would also be mindful of the people that you have around you and your inner circle, because it's happened in the past. We've heard stories of people who have had maybe a friend or a family member trying to lose weight at the same time, and they're doing something different to you, and just the constant chatter about what they're doing and how their results are going. And if they're not, even if they are doing the same thing as you, sometimes it's just not helpful to have that chatter constantly. And if you're not feeling like it is helpful to you, then just you need to remove yourself from that, I think.
Are you speaking from personal experience here?
No,
Okay.
It's actually never come up for me personally, but I have
Really?
heard it come up. Yeah.
Any comparisons before come up for you?
Oh, definitely a lot of comparisons based off physical. So comparing myself to people on social media,
In what
comparing
way?
myself, like the mentality of comparing yourself to, oh, she looks really good. What has she done? Or there's a simple before and after with no time frame involved, but your brain tells you, it wants to convince yourself that it was really quick, you know, or you just see somebody in the gym who looks really good and your brain tells you, why don't I look like them? It doesn't stop to think about the time that maybe took that person to look like that, or that person was starting from potentially a very skinny background. I'm coming from a very overweight background. That person's worked their ass off to gain muscle, gain definition, gain shape. But because the starting point was the complete opposite place that I was at, it is no comparison. But I feel like our brains are so quick to make judgment, and it's always going to be the worst possible judgment towards us.
Oh, yeah, you always paint yourself in the worst light.
It's just automatic. It's just automatic, where your brain will automatically go to comparison. And with that comparison, if it's going to be a negative comparison, your brain will automatically jump to the very, very worst situation compared for you. So that's what has happened to me. I've never been surrounded by people that are maybe talking about their own weight loss journey that much in, not that I can remember anyway, in a toxic way that affected me. But I have definitely heard it. I mean, I think it was back when we had our gym, I would hear it, especially from our female members. There were some that, you know, at a young age, they've got friends, and some of those friends were going to different gyms and trying different things. And it'd start to get to them because they were maybe getting results when they weren't. But again, your brain doesn't stop to think and be able to have perspective all the time to say, is what they're doing going to be sustainable? Is what they're doing actually going to help them long term compared to what I'm doing. Your brain often wants to go again to the worst case scenario, right? And always paint ourselves in the worst possible way. So I would say that the fix is what you said, Matt, is comparing yourself to yourself is the best possible way to try to remind yourself that's what you're doing. You're only trying to beat yourself. You're trying to beat the person you were 6 months ago. You're trying to beat the person you were 12 months ago because you weren't happy with that person. Because if you're happy with that person, then you'd be in more of a maintenance phase, not a pushing to be better phase.
You wouldn't be here working with us.
Well, you'd be in a maintenance phase, right? So you're in a pushing to be better phase because you weren't happy with the person that you were before. So you've almost got to think of your past self. I think sometimes it's helpful to think of your past self as a different person. Try to separate yourself from that person just to remind yourself of that unhealthy, unhappy person, and you've got to compare yourself to that person.
You can definitely view your previous or your past self as your competition because they are.
Yeah. So I think it's really helpful sometimes in your mind, I know I've done this, is to really just imagine your past person as almost like its own avatar review. And that is the person that you're constantly comparing yourself to and trying to be better than.
I know for me these days, whenever I see before and after photos from someone that I haven't been involved with, I go to one of two places. One, if this took them as long as I think it did, I have a pretty good idea of how much work has gone into this because I've done it myself. The other thing I will think is this: if this happened quickly, they're not going to keep it.
And that's the sort of perspective you need, but that's not always what we get. But
No.
Remember, we're also often projecting our deepest fears, always in the negative. If we haven't dealt with our deepest fears, that's what's going to bubble up and project straight away. It is. I just think that that is a human emotion. So often, if our deepest fear is that it's failure, it's another failure, it's not going to work. This person's going to be better than us. Everyone's better than us. Then that's what we're going to project and see in every scenario.
I think just to close on this, there are two ways to view these comparisons. If you are comparing yourself to someone else, I strongly can see the merit in using what that person has done as a form of inspiration, but it's not to be treated as a scoreboard because
Yes.
it is not. However, there's always a but.
Mm.
If you are comparing your current self to your previous self, it is 100% a scoreboard.
Yeah, because
you're
that's when the
improving.
wins come.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you get excited because you can see improvement. I totally agree with you.
You look at it and it's like, okay, if I am now having improved behavior from the same situation, where in the past I had bad behavior or unhealthy behavior in this situation, I'm winning.
Yeah.
Like, I actually told someone this just the other day. Like, okay, so you improved to this particular situation, same situation, new behavior. You're learning, you're getting better. Beautiful. Trajectory is heading in the right direction.
Yep.
Next one.
All right. Excuse number 4.
I just don't have the blank. Now, the easiest one here, the lowest of low-hanging fruit, is I just don't have the time. Now, look, our friend or friends, ChatGPT and Claude, have ruined what I'm about to say because normally what I'm about to say is an AI tell. You can tell someone's using AI to write their stuff, where it's like, you don't have this, you have that. Well, here we go. Matt GPT says, you aren't lacking in time, you are lacking in priorities.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. Whenever someone says to me, I don't have the time, it's like, well, no, you are lacking in priorities. You haven't made honest choices here.
Yeah.
We all have the same time. That is the easy one. So, I didn't have time to go to the gym. What, do you live in a different universe to me? We have the same amount of hours each week, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't have the time to go and do my cook-up. I haven't got the time to do things for myself. Like, all that tells me is your priorities are elsewhere.
Yeah.
Hard, but true. Could also be the one that really can do my head in as well. I don't have the confidence. Now, I don't have the confidence is real.
Mm.
Like, I know what that feels like to not have the confidence yet. How do we build confidence? You don't build confidence by sitting there wishing it into reality. You build confidence by stacking up evidence of you doing the thing.
Yes.
Do you know how I built the confidence to go to the gym all the time? By going to the gym all the time. Not sitting in the car park, firing myself up to go in. That can help at the start,
Yes.
but eventually it gets easier because you are doing the thing, whatever it might be, and you are building evidence.
I think this one to me as well, a lot of it comes back to that perfectionism.
Elaborate.
Well, it like you say, I don't have the time. A lot of it, you're right, I think comes down to people, the excuse being I don't have time and time for X here. So I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to do food prep. I don't have time. I think that a lot of it then will also come to, well, you may not have time to do it perfectly 100% the way you want to.
No one does.
But that's not the point. So again, I think it comes down to that perfectionism, sometimes this excuse, and it's an easy way to say, well, if I can't do everything, I'm going to do nothing.
Yeah, and there is what I call a minimum effective dose.
Yeah.
Which is to do just enough of the right things to get things moving along. I'd rather start someone on a minimum effective dose than let's just try and do everything that someone at a higher level is doing. You know, like that's where, like, whenever I start someone that's brand new with their gym program, you are going to go to the gym 2 times a week.
Yeah.
I know your friend might be going 5, 6, 7 times a week, but that's not you. You're going to go twice, and you're going to learn how to show up consistently 2 times. Once you've shown you can do that, maybe we'll talk about 3, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe once you've done that, maybe we'll talk about 4.
Yes.
I'll share a story actually about the whole I don't have the time. And to be honest, I will cop to this. If you want to really piss me off, just tell me you haven't got the time. But there was this one woman once, and I cannot tell you how much I respect this. She gave up. She stopped doing the program, and she said to me, you know what? I just don't want it badly enough. You know what I said back? I respect the honesty. I respect you. I wish you all the best. You just owned it. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Like, do I align with that view? No, I don't, because we're wired differently, and that's fine. But having the guts and the honesty to just come out and own it.
And the clarity, really.
You know what? I know what's required here. I know what it can do for me. I just don't want it.
I don't want it bad enough to make the changes or to make the sacrifices
you know what?
to make it happen.
You know, I reckon having the courage to say that, if it's true, is going to save a whole lot of heartache versus trying to find or give reasons or excuses as to why.
100%. 100%.
So I actually said to that woman, I can't tell you how much I respect you for saying this. This is a breath of fresh air.
Which, to be fair, in all these examples, I think to me, this excuse, I just don't have the insert excuse here, but generally speaking, time really comes down then to 2 things. It's either perfectionism, because you're waiting until the perfect time. So you're waiting until you have the time. You're waiting until you can do everything perfectly. Or is that you just don't want it bad enough? It really comes down to one of those 2 things, and you're not willing to make any sacrifices in your life and prioritize anything because you just don't want it bad enough. And I think this excuse really comes down to me with those 2.
Another one that falls into the I don't have the blank is I just didn't have the motivation to go to the gym this week. And I have hit people square between the eyes with a response like this. You cried over how bad you looked in your before photos and you tell me you're not motivated enough? You have meltdowns when your jeans don't fit? When you see photos of yourself at parties and you say in your own words, I look like, quote, a beached whale. And then you say this, like, what's actually going on here? What's up with this?
Yeah.
This is terrible because I do agree with Courtney that it can go to an all or nothing mentality. But I would say, especially when it comes to, I don't have the time, like just own your choices.
Yeah.
Dude, like
Yep.
I can't swear because YouTube will slap me. Just own it.
Yeah.
Just own it. And ultimately, what this will come down to is a series of choices about what you're willing to say yes to and what that means you may have to say no to.
Yes.
Because we can't say yes to everything because we've only got 168 hours in the week.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't make up the rules. It just is
We
what it
just
is.
live by them.
And ultimately, when it comes down to it, we will make the time for the things that matter.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Yep. All right. Last one. So, excuse number 5. I'm too old, too injured, too
Blank.
something.
Too injured. Now, I'm not going to go too hard on too injured, only for one reason. What I tend to see with people that think they've got too many injuries is the fear of making it worse.
I agree.
And you know what? I'm with you.
Or of a repeat
Or
of a significant injury.
Yeah, I had a, like, example, you might have someone that says, you know, I had a real bad lower back issue. And I'm terrified of doing that again because that knocked me out for 6 months.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know what? It's like, you know what? I totally understand you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not let that be the reason for you to do nothing because things won't improve themselves by you sitting on the couch doing F all.
Yes.
You know, so.
But let's proceed with caution with that as a genuine fear.
Now, I will say the I'm too old is complete junk.
Yeah.
As there are studies that have been published now since the 1990s showing that people can actually build strength and muscle tissue into their 90s.
Yes.
Chronological age 90s. You are never too old. There's always something you can do. That is a shield people hide behind.
Yes.
Too injured, it can be an excuse, but it is one I can fully understand. So I'm gonna stay less harsh on that one. Generally, what it's going to be though, especially with both actually, be it too old or too injured, there's a lack of knowledge and a lack of experience. Because I've had people come through where the injury thing comes up because they've had a weight loss attempt in the past, they've gone and joined a gym, they've signed up with some 22-year-old personal trainer living at home with their parents, and the first thing that the trainer had them do day one was box jumps and burpees.
Oh.
So, I wonder what's going to happen if a 140-kilogram woman gets off the couch and starts doing box jumps. Oh, she's ruined her knees. I would never have seen that coming. So it's the same thing when I've heard this one before as well, sign up, go to the gym, get the complimentary training session, and the trainer just goes hard at you, wipes you out, and you, having not exercised maybe ever, are so sore, you can barely move for 2 weeks.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to go back either.
No. Yes.
I can't blame you. So what happens is a lack of knowledge or a prior bad experience can inform this.
Yes.
So I do have some understanding there. However, be it age, be it injuries, be it special conditions, whatever it might be, there is a golden rule here, and it is this: don't quit, modify.
Yes.
Adjust. I can speak to this through injuries. Like I have, much like a Pokemon trainer, I've collected quite a range of injuries.
Yes.
Over the years. What have I done? I've done nerve impingements. There was that time I did my down my left side behind my neck.
Yeah, you did your neck. You've done your
And,
lower back.
I've done my lower back plenty of times, but with the nerve impingement, I had to spend months rebuilding my strength
in your
in my
arm.
left arm because Travis helped with this.
Yes.
What happened was when I was doing the bench press exercise, I would overclench my neck muscles here.
Yeah.
I've done my lower back quite a few times, usually squatting.
You ruptured your bicep.
I ruptured my bicep tendon. You probably can't see it from there, but I got my beautiful scars down here. I've had plantar fasciitis. I've had Achilles tendinopathy.
Yes.
I've sore shoulders, like
Rotator cuff.
rotator cuff. You know, every time something has happened, I have had the mentality of, right, how can I work around or with this? What do I need to adjust or modify to keep moving forward? Because this is something that drives me crazy. When I do believe injuries are a part of life, especially if we're active.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're human beings. Sometimes things just get sore and sometimes things break.
Mm-hmm.
Better than sitting on the couch doing nothing. But anyway, it's a part of life. That's okay. What really puts me off is when someone in a position of authority, like doctor, physiotherapist, whatever, says to you, just don't exercise for a month.
Just do nothing.
Just do nothing. Just rest and let it heal. I can't begin to say how damaging advice like that is, because what's the first thing that breaks when you tell someone that? It breaks their habit.
Yeah.
Because if you've built a habit of regular movement and regular exercise, one, you should be applauded because you're already a step ahead. But then to be told, oh, well, you've hurt yourself, just don't do anything for a month. Well, what, do I just sit on my ass?
Mm.
You know? So I think just having the mentality of being prepared to modify. And sometimes you do, actually, not sometimes, you generally do need to modify for someone based on age.
Yeah.
Because one thing I've noticed working with people that are in their, I would say, late 40s and up, it's that they can actually build up to be as strong as ever, as fit as ever, as athletic as ever, and as functionally capable as they ever have been. The biggest things you need to modify as someone gets older is how you structure their recovery.
Mm.
When someone is in, like, say, their early to mid-20s, you can just go to town on them and just do sessions after sessions after sessions. But as they get older, you've got to learn how to pick your spots.
Mm.
And the biggest thing I see with age, above all else, is knowing when to pull back on high-impact activity.
Yeah.
That's what will keep someone that's getting older in one piece, is being really strategic and not having someone who's like, say, 52 thinking they can keep up in the group fitness class with a 22-year-old. Like, sorry, it ain't going to work that way. Sometimes you can, but all the time, no. So we modify. Same thing with like an injury. Like, you know, oh, my shoulder hurts doing the flat bench press. Okay. Next time you go in, change the angle of the bench. Instead of being flat, change it to a 20-degree incline. Tell me what you notice.
Yeah.
Change it to a 30-degree incline. What do you notice? Change it to a 10-degree decline. We experiment, we assess, we get feedback, and we find what's going to work.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yes.
I think if you're telling yourself you're too injured, what you are missing is people around you that can help you modify and restructure so that you can stay active.
Yes.
And work on whatever your goals might be, whilst also potentially rehabilitating injuries that you've got.
Yes.
Like there's a woman in the academy right now who previously could barely walk without a cane.
Mm.
So as you can imagine, her training program is very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
2 days a week in the gym, doing high reps, low weight, just to get the consistency happening, and just going for walks when her knees are up to it.
Yep.
Now, a few months later, she's up and about walking without a cane.
Mm.
What a monumental amount of progress.
Yes.
But this comes about because this woman in particular was terrified of making things worse.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, we're gonna go minimum effective dose here, and we're gonna take what your body gives us and just stay in it long enough for you to start to feel the benefits.
Mm.
And lo and behold, they come through. But I do think people are generally lacking in just the right support and guidance around them to know how to make intelligent modifications. Because my mentality is this: the only reason you can't exercise is because you're probably dead, which is not a good day.
It's a morbid way to end this podcast, really.
My whole point, though, is that there is something that can be done.
Yes. The point is that, as you said, modification is our friend. Don't quit.
Now, I would normally ask you, Courtney, have you dealt with any of these? However, given that you just said, like 15 minutes ago, back in my day, maybe you're about to roll out that you're too old.
No, I think I can't say I have too much experience with this one in particular, no.
I have no personal experience with this either because I'm so pig-headed and stubborn.
Yeah, I think the client examples you gave, though, are good, and they give a very good.
I see it all the time professionally, like constantly, and that's where I've got the understanding where a lot of it is fear-based. And I'm not going to judge for that because, like, when I had my bicep rupture, I didn't want to re-rupture it.
Yeah.
So there's just this fine line between pushing yourself versus going a bit over the top and, I've done it again.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything you want to add there?
I think so.
Well, let's do a recap
Yep.
and we'll land this plane.
Land it. All right, let's go back over. Let me get my list just so I won't be able to remember them off the top of my head. So the 5 excuses we spoke about were?
The 5 reasons why you know what to do but you can't do it are probably one or a combination of these 5.
Yep.
Number 1, it's not my fault, it's X. You are blame shifting and not taking full ownership of a situation where you can. Number 2.
Yep.
It's not happening fast enough. You are being understandably impatient, but hate to break it to you, this takes time. Sorry, not sorry. Number 3, Courtney?
Number 3, why are they X and I am not?
Please stay in your lane. Compare yourself to yourself.
Yes. Number 4, I just don't have the
blank.
Usually time is the most relevant
I don't have
excuse,
the time.
but
I don't have the motivation. I don't have the confidence. 1, you do have the time. Make better use of it. 2, you don't need to have the confidence. Do the thing and build the confidence. 3, you don't have the motivation. Take your clothes off and look in the mirror.
All right. And excuse number 5.
I'm too something. I'm too old. I'm too injured. Now, these things may be true. You may be old. You may be broken down. You can still improve.
Modify.
Modification
Be strategic, is our friend.
Be smart. I promise you.
Perfection is not our friend.
I would bet my Super Nintendo on this, but I don't own it anymore. There is always a way through.
Yes.
Let's get out of here. Now, just before we go, if you want to do an even deeper dive on this deep dive, well, we'll call it the deepest dive. I recorded a training over on the YouTubes that goes, okay?
Yeah. The YouTubes. I love you just put the in front of everything.
The YouTubes over on the interwebs.
Come here, doggy.
Where I did a deepest dive on the 4 most common mistakes that I've seen people make with their weight loss and what you can do to not make them.
Yes.
If you want to go and avail yourself of that training, and I strongly suggest you do, there will be a link below in the description/show notes. Other than that, we're out of here. If you have any comments, if you'd like to tell me how terrible my mansplaining was at the top of the episode, bring it. If you'd like to tell me that maybe I was actually had a point with that, bring it. Any feedback, thoughts, comments, questions, pop them into the comments because we love it. We love to engage. We love to talk. And now we're going to stop.
We're going to stop. Remy says goodbye to
Who's Remy?
the dog down here.
We're going to do a quick introduction before we
If you ever
press stop.
see the
Grab him.
blinds going a little bit
We would like to introduce...
crazy, we don't have a ghost. We have a dog.
If you are still with us, we would like to introduce the third host of the Weight Loss Podcast. This is Lord Remington Pugglesworth, or as we call him, Remy. He's our beloved 10-year-old pug.
Yeah,
10
and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, 10-and-a-half-year-old pug. So he's here with us.
Hey.
We'll have a microphone for him next time. He's enjoying retirement these days.
Yes.
So if you've made it this far, thank you for joining the three of us. We will be back on deck next week. See you then.
Are you ready to share your success? Head over to our website for full access to our show notes, resources based on today's topic, and links to our Facebook group so you can share your story with our hosts and many others out there who are looking to achieve and maintain their health and fitness goals. You can find all that and more exclusively at theweightlosspodcast.com.